It has been a very busy few weeks for the MMO scene. Like, legit, I'm not even kidding. I had to omit a few different titles from inclusion in this video, and I had to actually condense things a little more than I normally would have otherwise. Now, before we go ahead and jump into this video, like every other news video, I am going to be giving away a copy of any MMORPG you guys want. Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, The Elder Scrolls Online, the Guild Wars 2 expansions, Lost Ark's Founders Pack. All you need to do to win a copy is be subscribed to the channel, because I can tell if you are. Go down into the comment section below and leave a comment stating what your first MMORPG was and why you played it. It's that simple. I will choose a winner and I will go ahead and announce it in the next Weekly Bite of MMORPG news video. The winner of our last giveaway is Cameron Bunch. I don't always respond to flattery, but I do appreciate when people take the time, even if they don't necessarily watch the rest of my videos, to put out with me at least every week or every other week. Now make sure to DM me on Twitter, Facebook, or Discord to go ahead and claim your game. Also, did you know that we're going to be streaming a brand new unique MMORPG that just launched into open beta about 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today? That's just a few hours after this video goes live. Yeah, come on over to our Twitch channel and let's see if we should be excited for it. Now, with that out of the way, we have plenty to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump into this week's Weekly Bite of MMORPG news. Let's start this off with Swords of Legends Online, arguably the most anticipated MMO of the last few months. Gameforge revealed in a live stream a couple days ago their roadmap for the next year. Shortly after their launch, they'll be rolling out their summer event, which will be followed by the beginning of the first season of their battle pass and several full raids. Then sometime in the fourth quarter of 2021, they plan on rolling out the hard difficulty for the Xuanzhui Jade Palace raid, the second season of their battle pass, with the studio promising to update solo regularly with new content. They noted that they are working on bringing new dungeons into the game next year, as well as a brand new class. The first edition of a new class in the Chinese version of Swords of Legends Online took over a year and a half, but Gameforge have intentions of introducing it much sooner to Western players. Oh, and did I mention that they're launching on July 9th? Yeah, next week you'll be able to get in game and play. Although, real quick, for those of you that weren't aware, I will be giving away probably 3, maybe 5 copies of Swords of Legends Online in my dedicated Swords of Legends Online video next week. So I urge you guys to go on into that video, watch it, and participate in the giveaway. Now, I did a dedicated video on Perfect World International a few months ago, I think, and while I definitely enjoyed reliving the nostalgia that was one of my introductions to the genre, I did notice quite a bit had changed. And it continues to change quite regularly. Case in point, the most recent Dawnlight update. Not only did it introduce the new Moonwatch Tower instance into the game, but it added new areas, new story, new gear, and overhauled textures for the Humans Wizard and Blade Master classes. Which is music to my ears, as I spent 2 years maining a Blade Master. It is always refreshing to see new additions to older games. Lost Ark has been a hot topic for the last couple weeks, ever since they announced they were going to be region restricting the game, inhibiting quite a few players from ever getting into the game. Players have been furious. Well, you know, like the ones that reside within a country that won't have access to it anyway. And they have every right to be upset. But it looks as though players are taking every attempt they can and lashing out in every way they possibly can imagine right now, as there have been multiple threads opened on Reddit, on the official Steam page, and quite a large influx of tweets made concerning the redesigns that Amazon are doing to the game and instances of censorship. Concerning the censorship, some images began floating around recently showing censored images of different classes and outfits that Amazon were using for promotion of the game. But it was confirmed that those images were adjusted purely for those very purposes. Then concerning redesigns, Amazon wanted to make the game more inclusive by introducing additional skin tones into the game, and in my opinion, providing any form of additional options when creating your character is a good thing. This is a fantasy game after all, and the more variety that we have amongst one another, the better. Anyone that finds issues with more diversity for players, especially concerning character customization, is just, and I know this might offend a few of you, but stupid. Finally, the Korean Lost Ark showcased their brand new Sorceress class in a preview video last week, and man does it look good. We played through the closed beta of Alian, and while we definitely did have some fun, we also noted that the incarnation of the game was quite a bit behind the South Korean version. With the second closed beta scheduled to take place sometime in the middle of August 2021, the team behind the MMO have revealed that they will be bringing us a build that is much closer to the current Korean build than we did with the CBT1. This is going to include a variety of changes, updates, updates and a surplus of new features, including the new Slayer class, some class balancing, which was definitely needed, and an overhauled leveling experience, making it easier for players to level. In light of all the recent classic incarnations of MMORPGs, WoW Classic, Lineage 2 Classic, Aion Classic, KOG Games have revealed their plans for a Grand Chase Classic next month. KOG Games just opened a brand new Steam page for the game, and according to the Steam page, they're in the process of recruiting global CBT testers. The pre-registration process begins on June 30th and lasts until July 6th. Joining the closed beta is as easy as navigating on over to the official Steam page and clicking Request Access. Successful participants will be picked sometime in July 2021. It is unconfirmed currently when in July that will be, however. Just keep an eye on your email, as you'll be sent a confirmation via Steam if you're selected. It's also unconfirmed when Grand Chase will officially launch, but given that this is more or less a relaunch of a game that already existed in the past, I really wouldn't expect there to be too much difficulty over the course of the test period. Ever since Palia was announced, players have been eagerly anticipating news concerning their upcoming pre-alpha test. As of July 1st, over 200 invites have been sent out to members of their Discord community that were the most active. Yeah, you heard that correctly. While we were capable of signing up via their website as they had urged us to do, it turns out, much to the chagrin of the players that pre-registered, they chose 200 active Discord members. While I find no issue with choosing active community members, a lot of players are upset as they did everything they were expected to, but had no idea that they needed to be actively spamming and reacting to memes and GIFs posted to be selected. Or if that isn't necessarily the case, then at least to be part of their Discord. As you can see in the screenshot included, you need to be a part of their Discord to be chosen. Regardless, it is worth noting that Palia, which had almost $20 million in seed funding, has raised another $30 million to fund the game, bringing the total to just a little shy of $50 million. At this rate, there should be absolutely no need for crowdfunding of any sort. Albion Online is fast becoming one of the most played MMORPGs on the market. Following their recent success with Albion Mobile, the team have elaborated on the future of the game. An entire graphical upgrade for older biomes, a rework of Legion layouts making them easier to navigate and more strategic in PvP, improvements to the world map, elite levels to weapon specs, PvP there's an unbelievable amount more. You should really just check out their roadmap for the almost exhausting list of improvements that they're making to the game. It is legitimately crazy. Good on you guys for continuing to work so hard on your game. You deserve all of this success. It has been 2 whole years since we have seen a decent stream of content from Star Wars: The Old Republic. So when BioWare revealed a few days ago that they were launching a brand new expansion titled Legacy of the Sith, players were ecstatic, or they kinda ecstatic, I guess. I mean, there's really only so much excitement you can get out of a game that is handled by EA Games, right? The studio went on to state that the expansion marks the beginning of an exciting new time for the game. And while I have absolutely no idea what that means, the expansion brings with it the planet of Manon, a new dungeon and raid content, the increase of the level cap up to level 80, various quality of life improvements and new features. There's no release date for the expansion yet, however they did confirm that it will be releasing this holiday season. I mean, I'm gonna be honest here, after talking to some of the team members behind Aion Classic, I was of the impression that they had players' best intentions in mind here. Alas, I was mistaken, as Aion Classic has thus far been a complete mess riddled with pay to win. You can see just how poorly received the game has been over any platform really. There are official forums, Reddit, news websites, Discord. I have a dedicated video on what has been going on in the game, but the too long didn't watch of it is that there is really just no hope for the longevity of the game moving into the future at this point, unfortunately. It's just a case of NCSoft being NCSoft, introducing things into the game that just should not be there. And I know there are going to be some ardent keyboard warriors out there that are just ready to ardently defend Aion Classic, but you know what, just don't. Just save your breath. I know people have been eagerly anticipating the new Zenith VR MMO, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. The team behind the game have stated that in order to add some important features ahead of its second alpha test phase, they're delaying the phase from July 10th until July 24th, that's 2 weeks. And while there are some people disappointed with the news, it's worth noting that additional features are never a bad thing. It should ultimately just make the game feel that much more I I thought that the game was actually kind of terrible. Many people mirrored this sentiment, and the game lost the bulk of its active players almost seemingly overnight. Now, fast forward a few months, the studio behind the game has announced that as of October 31st, 2021, Magic Legends will be shutting down. Yeah, completely shutting down, which is actually kind of shocking. They did go on to state that our vision for Magic Legends missed the mark, but we are proud of what we achieved. While I do not like, nor do I get any satisfaction from talking bad about people working hard on games or just putting hard work into your job at all, the end result of Magic Legends was just absolutely atrocious, and it showed. Crowfall officially launches on July 6th, next week. They held a beta test recently, the final test phase before official launch, and players were pleasantly surprised with what they got to experience. I didn't get it myself as I didn't want to back the game nor buy the edition of the game that would get me access to it, but you can bet that both Mrs. and I will be in game on July 6th testing it out. It's about damn time too. Broken Ranks is an interesting looking turn-based MMORPG that was just revealed to be going into open beta testing. This means that it's playable for each and every one of you if you're interested in the type of MMO that this is. I know top-down isometry games like Diablo and Lost Ark aren't really for everyone, and that is more than fine, but as of July 2nd, the game is open and playable, so realistically, what can it hurt giving the game a try, right? The last time I saw turn-based combat in an MMO was way back in Atlantica Online, or Temtem, I guess, if you really count that. I'm not sure how many of you have played Starborne. I haven't personally, but apparently the developers behind the game have just announced a brand new title within the IP, Starborne Frontiers. Little is known about the game other than the brief teaser that was provided, but it looks to be taking a lot of inspiration from the very popular EVE Online sci-fi MMO. Tower of Fantasy has made a number of alterations to the UI for the game, alterations that I really did not think were absolutely necessary. It's unconfirmed if these changes were for both the PC version or the mobile version of the game, but they're hard at work preparing to release later this year. Additionally, I do have a dedicated video coming for Tower of Fantasy next week, going over some other additions, some other alterations, some other inclusions to the game that I can't really cover in something as condensed as this news video. The Bandai Namco Twitter tweeted a brand new trailer for the game with the Arc-en-Ciel, one of the greatest Japanese rock bands of the century, performing the opening of the game, surprisingly, considering that most MMOs don't have a dedicated opening for their game. But you know what, I found it pretty cool, and it showed quite a bit of the overhauled game off, combat, areas, group content. There wasn't any information released alongside the trailer, but given that they have actively released their third trailer for the game, I dare say that we're getting closer than ever to an official release date. And that is it, that is everything that has been brought to my attention over the course of the last couple weeks. If you think there's something that I missed, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. Message me on Facebook or Discord or Twitter or anywhere you can find me. Make sure to go ahead, include the link to the article, and if applicable, I will go ahead and include it either in the next Weekly Bite of MMORPG news video, or I will go ahead and do a dedicated video covering it.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make